Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're going to be going over the beginner guide for Warlock, so stay tuned and let's check this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go change my character to my next character, which is going to be Warlock. Yes, I'm sure I want to change my character. And I set most of these builds up last night, just so I had them prepared. So now I'm going to go over my Warlock build. So this here I use a modified version of this build, but it is so good when you start modifying it for endgame activity. So it's gonna work just as good for pre-game or for early game, let's say, instead of endgame. So your strikes, Crucible, just running around in like the Leviathan or on the moon. Yeah, CA Warlock. This is my man. So I'm a hunter main. I love my hunters, but this build is so good for endgame activity. So we're gonna be using Solar. So we're gonna be using Dawnblade, and Solar's got revamped this season, and I love this build so much. So we're gonna be using Well of Radiance. I'm a Warlock, which is what we call it for Warlocks. We use the Well of Radiance. That's my favorite subclass right here is Solar, but specifically Solar Warlock. And the reason I love it so much is because I'm utilized every single raid because I run well on my Warlock. Nothing's better than helping the team out for me. Yes, being the best on the team is great, but being the guy that they're like, yo, we need you, that's really what makes me happy sometimes. So we're going to be using Well of Radiance, and then you got three different things here. I personally recommend Healing Rift because you throw it down, you stand in it, you get healed. Continuously heals those inside. That's what's beautiful about it. And then I use Burst Glide. You can use Balanced or Burst are my personal preferences. I like Burst Glide. Gives you that boost off the start. Then this is where it gets interesting. So I personally like Celestial Fire, but that's always what I've used. But you can use Incineration Snap, which you snap and it sends out a fan of sparks that explode. I prefer Celestial Fire. It's a personal preference. Use both. Find out which one you like. And then what I use is Fusion Grenade. Personally, this is my favorite grenade with one of the aspects, which I'll go over in a second. So I recommend Fusion Grenade. Highly recommend it. Let's rephrase that. So now we go on to the aspects. And the first aspect we're going to be using is Touch of Flame. And if you read there, your Healing, Solar, Firebolt, and Fusion Grenades have enhanced functionality. That's why I use Fusion. And if you read down more, Fusion Grenade, it explodes twice. So now this can almost one-shot the... So Vaulted Glass was the last raid I did on Dawnblade. And the Vex have what's called a Minotaur, and I could one shot a Minotaur with my Fusion Grenade because of it exploding twice. So I highly recommend using Fusion Grenade with this Touch of Flame aspect. The next one I personally use is Icarus Dash because again, Hunter main, mobility. I like being able to maneuver. So I use this all the time. I get around quick with it. I can dodge in air. It's really good, especially in Crucible. But even in player versus everyone's PvE activity, it's great. So for the Fragments, I recommend using Ember of Singeing, which is class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets, which you're using Solar. So your grenades are going to scorch targets. Your Celestial Fire is going to scorch the target. So I recommend using Ember of Singeing. Ember of Solace. This gives Radiant and Restoration effects. They have increased duration, so they last longer. Your Radiant gives you a damage buff, and Restoration restores your health. So having both of those is really great. And then Ember of Searing, which this gives you melee energy by defeating scorched targets. So you hit someone with your grenade, and then you kill them, you get your melee energy back. and your melee is a great way to scorch targets also. So, and then it also gives you your recovery, which is really why I like it, because on Warlock you want high recovery, because that's how you get your class ability back quicker, is having a higher recovery. And then Ember of Torches is the next one, which power melee attacks against combatants make you and your nearby radiance, you and your nearby allies radiant, which your celestial fire, shooting fire literally out of your hand, is what gives you your radiant, so it gives you that damage buff. So that's what I recommend running for your Dawn Blade setup. And now again, I'm gonna go through my armor and what weapons I'm using and why. So let's go with that. Hey Brendan, welcome to the stream. So, and I'm not using any exotic armor in this, just because if you're brand new to the game, this is what you're gonna be. This is a great way to do it. You're not really gonna have exotics yet. Well, you might, but so for the helmet, again, I'm running all recovery mods. So the first one so going over your helmet again, through a recovery mod on there, which gives you plus 10 recovery, and then rocket launcher and fusion rifle ammo finder, similar to what the hunter one was, actually, except minus the first mod. So that's what I recommend throwing on there. And again, I'm gonna hand cannon, fusion rifle, rocket launcher. That's what I'm using. So then I don't have these fully masterwork, so I could just throw on fusion rifle loader on here. That's fine. Throw what you want in your arms. I like fighting lion vest exotic. No, screw that gun. Fusion rifle loaders, what I go for. And then again, recovery mod. On the chest, same thing. Concussive dampener, armor of the dying star for the reduce incoming solar and void damage. Then area of effect, again, through a recovery mod on there. And then for the legs, similar thing. I use a fusion rifle holster so I can reload my fusion while it's put away. Then a rocket launcher scavenger so you get more rocket launcher ammo. Again, another recovery mod. Then this is where I use Classy Restoration. So not only will I get the restoration effect from my healing rift, it's gonna be even quicker because now I have Classy Restoration on here. If you don't have Classy Restoration though, you can run Utility Kickstart in both slots, and that's going to give you the same idea. It's going to give you if you use 25% on your class ability back. And then, like I said, recovery mod. That's what I use. Then again, I'm going to be using Fatebringer, which is a hand cannon, Cartesian coordinate, fusion rifle. You can use whatever the hell you want for your weapons. These are just what I enjoy using. I use them all the time. I use them in raids. I use them in PvP. I use them for literally everything. So that's what I recommend using. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment so I can get out there more. And make sure to check by the stream at twitch.tv/stubborn_bucket. Alright, thanks.